Alright all, and welcome back to another video where we'll be previewing the Pretty Potty Stakes, the Sunday card of Irish Derby weekend. And we are on actually Irish Derby day at the moment. We're at 10 to 7 as I record this video, so the Irish Derby hasn't quite taken place just yet. Horses Kingdom's gone out to 7 to 1 now. So far we've had a decent day. We've had two winners, Serpentine winning the opening maiden, advised at 7 to 2, went to a 5 to 2 and won very impressively, and Buckhurst won the Alleged Stakes at 7 to 4, beating Sir Dragonet. And also Tommy Taylor has just placed at 16 to 1 in the Premier Handicap. So it's been a profitable day so far. Unfortunately, the Napa Valley Barman just couldn't quite get there, ended up coming second in the celebration. It was a bit of a hard watch. He ran a superb race, but hopefully he'll be able to pick up a listed or a Group 3 race maybe sometime down the line this season. I'll certainly be backing him again. He lost nothing in defeat to Ancient Spirit. Going through the 8 race card, I think it is, again for tomorrow. Starting off with the 2 o'clock, which is a 7 furlong fillies maiden. I'm afraid I'm going to be keeping this one pretty concise. It's Snowfall for me. 11 to 8 currently with Bet365, although Bet365 are a bit windy about taking bets sometimes. 11 to 10 across the board for this deep impact filly. Third to Frenetic, who's just gone and absolutely bolted up in the listed race there. And the second was Mother Earth, who ran a very good race, I think in the Albany, over at Royal Ascot. This horse was third that day, stayed on, was Shamie Heffernan's pick over Mother Earth as well, so I'd say there's a fair bit to come. Going up from 5 furlongs to 7 furlongs here should suit this filly, and hopefully she'll give favourite backers a start. I don't particularly like weighing in on favourites, although I look through my selections for for this card and go, there are a few favourites that I do think will end up getting the business done. The 2.35 is the 7 furlong Coulson Geldings maiden. I'm going to take a chance here on Ace Aussie, 13 to 2 here for the Jessica Harrington and Shane Foley team, a son of Australia. There is a horse called Hudson River in there, the first progeny of the mare Mecca's Angel out of by Galileo, so a regally bred horse, Hudson River, and could be the real deal. But I'm going to take a chance on this Ace Aussie. Jessica Harrington's filly, not fillies, sorry, their juveniles have been running superbly so far this year. They've picked up right where they left off last season, and hopefully this horse can give a good account of himself at 13 to 2. It's not a bad each way price if you want to get involved in that sort of respect. The 3.10 is the mile 2 furlong rated race, and again it's another race I cannot see past the favourite, and I'm sorry for being boring in that respect, but I do think it's a day like this, so if I think he's going to win, he's going to win. And this Napa Valley looked really impressive when winning a Leopardstown maiden by 3.5 lengths. This son of Galileo, obviously a bit disappointing, I'd say, for connections that he didn't run as a 2-year-old, because he looks a pretty good 3-year-old at that, and maybe he's one of these late improvers that might end up being a group horse by the end of the season. I'm sure they'll be hoping that. He's 6 to 4 generally available at the moment. I think that's a fair price for a horse that perhaps could be a bit better than this, and therefore I'm going to take that chance that he's a group horse in a rated race and will go and collect the goods. The 3.45 is the 5 furlong Rockingham Handicap, and a horse that's come in for a lot of support. And if you guys watch any of my other stuff, you'll know that I put up Strong Johnson on the Champ.ie podcast midweek at 8 to 1. He's now come into 5 to 1, which is a bit short for a race like this, but I'm still going to go with him. Talon Keen takes the ride for Kieran Cotter, a course and distance winner last time out, when really well backed, and he's being well backed again, so maybe those omens are aligning once again. He is an improver. He's running off a mark at 81, so he does have a lot to find on the figures, but he gets, obviously, heaps of weight from the likes of Alligator Alley near the top of the weight. So I wouldn't be surprised if this horse ran an absolutely huge race. He likes the straight 5 at the Curragh and hopefully can go well and perhaps win the Rockingham for Kieran Cotter. The 4.15 is the 6 furlong Greenland Stakes, and I'm an absolute lover of this Make a Challenge. Dennis Hogan this weekend has probably shown off his good side and his bad side as a trainer. People that will know, but I'm not going to go into it, to be honest. But this Make a Challenge is one of his good sides. He picked him up for cheapest chips. I think it was either a Galileo or a Judmont, or not a Galileo, a Godolphin or Judmont cast-off. Picked him up for absolute pennies, improved him through a heap of handicaps last year, ended up being a group performer. what ran then 5th in the sprint on Ascot Champions Day last year on heavy ground, and then returned at Naas only a few weeks ago. No, actually last week it was, because it was the same day as Skeptical, running in the Diamond Jubilee, and won at Naas really, really impressively. This horse wouldn't mind the forecast rain that's coming. He does like a little bit of a dip in the ground. He's 7-4. He's my nap of the day. I absolutely love this horse, and I thought he was superb last year. I kept backing him last year. He kept winning last year, and hopefully he can go and take Group 2 honours here in the Greenland Stakes. The 4:45 is the Pretty Polly. A mile 2 furlongs for fillies and mares, which is obviously the feature on the card. And it's a good race, even though only 5 runners. You know, Magical and Fleeting are both proven brilliant Group 1 open mares, and you've got horses like Cayenne Pepper and Rock Aroma, who potentially could be Group 1 horses later down the line. If I'm being honest, it's probably a no-bet race. But my selection's going to be Cayenne Pepper. I've talked her up on a numerous amount of times. I think this is going to be just a little bit of a pipe opener, though. That would be my only problem. It wouldn't surprise me if she ran okay, but came 3rd or 4th. I'd like to see just a bit of spark for her, so I can then weigh in for her on the Irish Oaks, because I think she's the Jess Garrington filly that's most likely going to go to the Irish Oaks. So that might be the long-term plan there. It'll be an interesting race. Hopefully Magical can return and win, but 8-11 isn't a price I'm willing to take, I must confess. So therefore I might put a few quid on at 7-1, but it will be a low-stakes race, the feature. The 5:15, a mile 2 furlong handicap. I'm not sure, but I think I found one here in Sheisdiesel of a mark of 79. Is 16-1 for the Noel Meade and Talon Keen team. Was second in a course and distance handicap last year off a mark of 84, so is £5 down from that. Usually renowned as a Dundalk specialist, this mare. She won 4 on the bounce, I think 2 winters ago at Dundalk. So she does love it around there, but she obviously doesn't mind the cur as well. She was well down the field in the big mile 4 handicap on Guineas weekend that Edification won, but she'll come on a bit for that run. I think the drop down to mile 2 at the curve mightn't be the worst idea. The one thing is the ground. That would be a slight concern if it was to go a bit softer. But this horse, I don't think is a 16-1 chance. I rate her more of a 10-1 chance, especially off a mark of 79. She should be competitive. The 5:45 is the concluder, a 2-mile handicap, and you know who I'm going to back in this. It is Presto, 9-1 with Sky Bet. I think that's a mad each-way price, really. He ran 4th here in the course and distance handicap on Guineas weekend over mark 88. He's been raised £1 for that effort, but instead of Shane Foley, he's booked Oliver McKiernan and the Keep the Faith Syndicate have booked Darrow Keefe, taking a valuable £5 off. So in effect, he'd run off 84. There's a few of my cliff horses in this race now. Sharjah runs, John Snow, the biggest cliff horse of all time, runs. And obviously they could be well treated based off their hurdle form. But this horse, Presto, I just can't see him going the season without landing one of these big handicaps. And 9-1 seems a ridiculous price at an each-way price where you're going to get 4 or 5 places. I really hope this horse will go close. And if not, get the business done. He would be probably my each-way bet of the day. So it would be Make a Challenge being my nap of the day and Presto being my each-way bet of the day. If you guys did enjoy this video and have any thoughts about the Pretty Polly or the card itself, do let me know down below, obviously. And if you did enjoy the video, please do give it a like and subscribe to the channel. I hope if you're new here, you enjoyed the video. If you are one of the regulars, thanks for coming back. The support means everything to me, I must confess. And I've really enjoyed the racing and I really enjoyed making these videos over the last few weeks. Hopefully we'll be back all good and well next week to preview the Derby and maybe the Eclipse and some of the really good racing next week over in England. Obviously the Oaks as well. But until then, I hope you guys stay well, stay lucky and land a better too. And from me and my pint of Guinness here, have a good week and I'll see you guys for the Derby preview. Cheers.